Welcome to the Veterinary Marketing Podcast, where it's all about how to attract, engage, and retain clients using digital marketing to your veterinary practice. I hope you're having a wonderful day. My name is Brandon Brashears. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen. Today we're going over how to create offers for your specific niche audience. So this is a incredibly important piece of digital marketing, and it follows up with the last episode, Maverick Marketing Method, which is something that I just coined as getting really specific, identifying the groups of people that you want to be trying to reach rather than going for a broad market message, which is not at all helpful for small businesses, in my opinion. So this is really helping you to be tactical with your marketing, because time is limited, resources are limited, and you need to do the most that you can with what you have. So it's going to be a really helpful episode. We're talking about how to make offers, how to present those offers, the best way to do it. Before we begin, I want to mention a few things. First, if this sounds like something you would like in your practice, I'm actually running a 5-day challenge. It is how to create a marketing funnel, and it's a challenge that's going to go over everything involved in building marketing funnels that are going to deliver the right prospects into your practice consistently. The cool thing about funnels is that once they're built, and you can reuse them over and over and over again. So I think it's going to be a really valuable training. If you want to check it out, you can go to veterinarymarketingpodcast.com/challenge. And we're really going to break this down into small steps that are simple. We're going to just go right to content, and it's going to be very valuable. So that it doesn't take a lot of time, but it's going to get you to the end point where you have marketing funnels that are going to deliver the right kinds of clients that you're looking for. So I think it's going to be really cool. If you're interested, be sure to go to veterinarymarketingpodcast.com/challenge. Or if you go to veterinarymarketingpodcast.com/group, you can join the Veterinary Marketing Nerds group. I'll be posting about it in there. So it's free to join that group, by the way. There's lots of good people and information in that group, and I hope that you enjoy it. Sounds like my dog Winnie's excited about it. All right, so let's jump into today's episode. First thing that we want to talk about and really get clear on is if you don't know who it is that you're targeting, you're not going to be able to create offers that are going to really resonate with this audience. It is incredibly important that you know who it is that you're targeting. And I know that a lot of practices, they like to be general. They like as many clients as possible, especially when it comes to their marketing. They're trying to do a mass messaging marketing, and that just is not effective. If you've ever created a post that, on Facebook that didn't get response, chances are it probably wasn't giving a call to action, and it wasn't talking to a specific group of people. I want you to think about, anytime you've used products or services in your life. A good example is a photographer, okay? Photographers take pictures. They all use cameras, generally speaking, pretty much the same camera. Maybe they use a Nikon, maybe they use a Canon, whatever, right? And as somebody who's not a professional photographer, I don't really know the difference between cameras. Most people don't. But there's a huge variance in terms of target markets that photographers choose, and it makes sense because they have experience with that. If you were getting married, you would like a wedding photographer. You wouldn't want an automotive magazine photographer or a National Geographic landscape photographer. I'm sure that person could probably do really well, but if you're looking for a wedding photographer, you're going to want somebody who specializes in wedding photography. Now, even if the photographer does all kinds of different photography, because they say, hey, I know how to do portrait photography, I know how to do all these different things, I think that we could all agree that if they marketed themselves as a do everything and they had a portfolio that had pictures of cars, pictures of boats, pictures of landscapes, and a wedding thrown in there, you'd say, this person seems like they're not really focused on this. And so you probably wouldn't want them to mess up your big day, which is important, right? So thinking about that, right, that's something I think everybody can really get a firm grasp on. Are they limiting themselves? Yes, they are. There's a lot of different kinds of photography needs out there. But the truth is that they're able to make a more specific offer. And if you know anything about wedding photography, you know it's really expensive. It's because they're providing a specific solution. People have very specific needs and wants, and so you're able to charge more for that than, say, like a school picture. Okay, so I think that's just a generally good kind of example there to think about. So we need to know who it is that we're targeting in our practice. Are we targeting senior pets? Are we targeting small pets? Are we targeting exotic pets, birds, lizards, turtles, specific services like surgeries, low-cost surgeries, complicated surgeries, complicated dental procedures. What is it that you're actually looking to sell in your practice? Okay. That's step number one. We talked about that in depth last episode. Now we need to figure out, how do we make an offer that people are going to want to take? So we know who we're targeting now. We know what we're selling. How do we get people to take action? And that's called the offer. So through this specificity, instead of going for the masses, we're going for those specific people. We can target people who actually need and want what you have to offer. So I think that, after we talk about this offer points, we're going to be talking about what to do in terms of finding the right markets and the right target markets that will ultimately really, where's the best place to find that starving audience, and how can we get this offer in front of them in the best way. But when we go back to the offer, now that we know who it is that we're serving and what it is that we're selling, we need to make a complete list of everything that is bothering these people. What are they worried about? What keeps them up at night? What are their hopes? What are their aspirations? What are their dreams? If we can understand all of these points, we're going to be so much better off. When I used to think about offers, I used to think about it in terms of just a specific single angle. And at some point, I can't remember where it was, but I heard one of my marketing mentors that I was listening to, he said, when you're thinking about offer creation, you don't want to just be solving one of their problems. If you want an offer that's so good that people feel stupid for not taking it, you need to give them every single reason to do it. So, thinking about, like, for example, let's say you're going to do pain management for senior pets. And you're thinking, okay, I'm targeting these pet owners. We do laser therapy. We do comprehensive nutrition assessments. We do all these things that are services for pain management for senior pets. What are the things that are keeping pet owners up at night? I think, for senior pets, they're worried that their dog's quality of life is slipping. They're worried that their time is very limited with their pet, who's been their faithful companion for years. They know that they need to do something. Every single time they see their dog, try to jump into the car. They used to be so excited they'd go and run and jump in. Now they can't get in. It breaks their heart because they're like, oh, my dog's getting older. He's not able to move. And it makes them sad. It keeps them up. They're worried about that. I think that's a huge pain point, right? That's not just like a feature. They're like, I need to get pain management. I need laser therapy. Like, that's not what they're looking for. They want more quality of life for their best friend. That's what they're actually after. They feel guilty because they see their dog getting older. There's nothing that they can do about it. And this dog has been a source of happiness for their family for so long, right? So we got to get into that mindset. What are the things that people are really worried about? Maybe people are worried about cost, or maybe people are worried about the kind of perceived dangers, especially with dentistry and anesthesia. People are afraid for their senior pets to go under anesthesia because they think it's unsafe. My pet's too old for anesthesia. This isn't a good idea. It'll, not be good. So really identifying what are the fears associated with this, and what is the end thing that people actually want. And a good kind of way to think about this is start and finish. So what do people look like before they have experienced your product and service? And then what do they feel like, and what do they look like after? And just a complete picture of both of those things. What do they look like? What do they feel like? What are they thinking about? What are they feeling? What are they worried about that they might not be willing to admit? What are they thinking? Just every single thing that you can think about is going to help. The better that you can identify the problem, and the better that you can actually relate to the person that you're making this offer to, they're going to feel like you understand them completely above and beyond anybody else who's ever helped them. And it's going to be transformative to them. They're going to think that you have the answers because you understand their problem so well. If you had been suffering from chronic back pain for a long time, and somebody said, hey, looks like your back hurts. I got a question for you. When you do this, does the back hurt really bad? And did it start here? And they describe every single thing that you're feeling. And then they said, hey, I used to have that exact same problem. And thank goodness I fixed it, though. And then just up and left, you'd say, hey, wait a second. What did you do? What was it that actually ended up fixing that? Because you'd assume that they had the solution. They were able to describe your problem completely. That's what making a good offer does. It really explains the problem that they're facing, and then it provides that solution, and it gives them a before and after. Now, when we're thinking about offers and we're thinking about how do we convey value, and remember, value is what you feel like you're getting. The price is what you pay, but value is what you feel like you're getting. How can we make this offer more valuable? So the easiest way to do this is, number one, list out everything that is included, and actually list it out. Break everything down into parts so that people understand what actually goes into it. If I'd go to a wellness exam, as a customer or a client, I kind of think that they're all the same, right? It's a wellness exam. But what does that mean? I'm not quite sure. It's very general and vague. So we need to really break that down into, okay, first thing that we do is a comprehensive nutrition assessment. And we talk about any kinds of supplements that you're on. And then we do a physical assessment where we go through and we make sure and check all of these points. And here's why we do this. And then after that, we break it down into every single step, because people have no clue, especially with curbside. People have no clue what's going on inside the building. They don't know that you're monitoring patients with, special trained technicians, and, that there's always a veterinarian on staff for overnight because you want to have somebody there, right? Whatever it is, I think it's really, really important that you really list it out, because we have to give people some kind of insight behind the curtain, what's actually happening, because people just simply don't know. And I think that sometimes people are kind of hesitant to say everything that goes into making stuff, because you're like, this is redundant. They know this already. It's not true. Your clients do not understand veterinary medicine. I don't understand veterinary medicine to the extent that you guys do. Whenever I'm making offers with clients and things, it's like we have to go through and do a detailed, okay, what happens then? What do you do then? What's this for? Why do you do this? Because it's really important to think about this from a position where somebody doesn't know why you do things, what's going on. And so if you're able to convey that, they're going to say, wow, look at all the attention to detail that they provide. I just learned a term called COHAT, which is Comprehensive Oral Health Assessment and Treatment. And I didn't know what that was, right? That was just like a feature of an exam. And I said, what's this? It sounds a lot different than other practices that are doing dentistry. And so we broke it down and branded it so that it was something that was their practice, what they're doing, right? It's incorporated into that assessment. And so that helps to provide additional value to the clients as well. So first, identify the pain points, the major fears. Then number two is identify what's included, what's inside of this thing that they're getting, that you're going to be packaging up and presenting as an offer. And then number three is, how do those points that you have, the actual features of your service, how do they benefit the client and the fears that they're feeling, the worry that they're feeling, or, any of these major points that you've created there. And then I think too, if you can name this product something, and product naming is really, really important because it makes it unique to you. If you just call it a wellness exam, then it's just like every single other wellness exam. If you call it a wellness exam and you don't list every single step that's included, it looks like everybody else. If you have, for example, two cars that are exactly the same and two dealerships are selling those two cars, what's the only way that you're going to compare those two things? It's through price, right? If you do not give that kind of distinction to your products and services, if you don't have a specific way to differentiate yourself, and I think the easiest way to do that is to name it something. And I think really naming is one of the easiest conventions that you can do to put yourself apart. So when you're coming up with names, be descriptive. I would say don't be too different with names, unless that's part of your brand. So think of naming it something unique, because I think that's just easy way to be different. Different's important for sure. Now, I think to make the offer even better, right? So let's say that we are then taking care of all of the needs of this client. We're fixing all the fears, all the worries, all the trouble that they have. How can we make it even better? I think generally if you can add bonuses, that's something that people feel like they're getting a huge value. Obviously, discounts are easy. Discounts are easy to use. But you can do things like scarcity as well. So once we have that figured out, though, and we understand who this is for, what it is, what's included, everything that it does, and how it benefits the client so that they feel like everything is being handled and taken care of, how can we make it even better? Because that is going to help us to get even better conversion. Typically doing things like bonuses. So if you have any kind of more information, an information series, email series, like if you can deliver additional content as a bonus, typically things that are not, generally speaking, like a hard cost associated with it, just because it'll cut into your margins. But if you can give people more things, like let's say you have a puppy potty training guide and you're taking care of puppies with the puppy vaccination plan, you could include the puppy potty training guide, the puppy behavior guide, and everything you need to know about your puppy email series completely free as a bonus, right? People will be like, wow, that's such good information. It's stuff that I need right now. And when we think about bonuses that you can give people, what do they need before, during, and after visits? A lot of times, too, you can use products and services that your reps give you as trial things to give that's not going to cost you anything, but you can then offer it as additional value for them to see and to get. So, thinking about this in terms of, okay, what it is that we're doing, how we're going to be benefiting these people, and then how can we make the offer seem even better so that they're going to want to take you up on it and possibly share it with other people. It's going to help this offer to go way above and beyond anything that you've done in the past. If you think about veterinary hospitals, generally speaking, when they look at how to present their offers and services, they kind of look at what everybody else is doing. And that's totally, like, every single industry does this. What is everybody else doing? When you're getting into business, okay, let's take a look at what the market says. What's everybody's prices? Let's see what, everything that's happening here. How are they advertising? Okay, they're running ads here. Let's run ads here as well. It's not a lot of differentiation put into this and thinking, okay, everybody's here, but there's this market that needs help. What can we do to reach them in ways that are unique and that are not going to just blend in with everyone else? So I think the more unique you can make your offers, the more value you can put into it, the more benefits you can put into it. And I don't necessarily think that you have to put pricing there and pricing available on your website or anything, but you can if you want to test that. I think generally not putting pricing is probably a better thing for services, unless you are ultimately trying to compete on price, where you're a low cost practice, and there are low cost practices out there. So that's definitely a differentiation point too. But it really just depends on what it is that you're going for. Once you have that figured out, we need to find the best place to put this offer, which is going to be the medium. How can we get this out there? Should we use email? Should we use phone calls and call people that we have in our database already? If we're thinking about who this is for, we just need to think about where's the best place that we can reach these people. Where's the best medium that we can reach these people? Is this some kind of an offer that we need to typically get awareness around? Are people understanding that there's such a thing as like aquamation, for example? Most people don't know what that is versus cremation for their pets for end-of-life care, for example. So, thinking about all of these things, where are we going to put this offer is really, really important. I think whenever I start off looking at offers and getting them out, it's always, okay, is this something that people are actively looking for right now? Or is this something that we're going to have to create a demand for? Because that's really what the strategy comes down to. If it's something that people are looking for, people that want and need, then that's a lot easier to sell versus trying to make people aware of this problem. Maybe people don't know that they have the problem, so you have to educate them that they have the problem, and then you have to motivate them. So if we can figure out a problem and create an offer around a problem that people know that they have, instead of one that we have to educate and bring to the point of not only knowing about the problem, but then knowing and liking and trusting you as the problem solution provider, then that is a lot longer of a funnel. So generally speaking, if we're trying to educate people about a problem, we're going to be on a content network that is discovery based, right? So people on Facebook, people on Instagram, people on YouTube, people on TikTok. That's, getting people to become aware of a solution. And then if we have a product that people are actually looking for, that they want and need, then we need to go to a user intent network, something like Google Ads, Yahoo Ads, YouTube search ads, things like that. So I think this is probably a good place to kind of pause. We covered a lot of things. If you are interested in this 5-day challenge, be sure to go to veterinarymarketingpodcast.com/challenge, where you can create a funnel. We're going to be deep diving a lot more into offer creation, picking your product or service that you want to be selling, and really helping to get things set up so that you are ready to launch a full funnel that helps to convert people into clients without much trouble at all. So I hope this was helpful to you today. Please be sure to subscribe in iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast from. If you need help with anything, please don't hesitate to reach out. Have a great day, everybody. Bye.